Well, here we are on our last leg of the White Rim. In our previous video we had just completed Murphy Hogback, and now we're on our way to Hardscrabble Hill before settling down for the night at Labyrinth Campsite. Not sure what to expect from Hardscrabble, but we were alerted that the trail past Hardscrabble was washed out during some storms several weeks back, and to expect deep sand. Surely it can't be worse than Cape Lookout, and we handled that with no trouble. Well, we still have a ways to go before we reach Hardscrabble, so enjoy the ride along with us.
This is what it's going to look like going out with a bigger cliff. You watch that side, you might need to.
Just recording.
No, you might need to roll your window down.
Really? Did you hear me say it was a 2-hour hike?
Yeah, that's.
I know that we'll have 2 hours.
The trail we're talking about starts just before Hardscrabble and goes out to Fort Bottom. Fort Bottom is a horseshoe-shaped bend in the Green River. There's supposed to be a tower-like structure that was built above the river by the Anasazi Indians about 750 years ago. There's also a remnants of an old cabin built by a cowboy named Mark Walker at the base of the trail. We had planned to hike this trail but wasn't sure if we had the time to do it, and definitely didn't want to be traveling this road in the dark. Maybe next time. But we still have a few miles to go before reaching Hardscrabble, so we're going to hit you with another song as we continue the journey. exactly sure where Hardscrabble Hill officially starts, but I believe we may be coming up on it now. We've been having a little trouble with the Forerunner overheating on this trip, so before we tackle Hardscrabble Hill, we're going to stop a few minutes and let it cool off while we take in this amazing view.
Almost a 3-point turn.
Here we go.
Up here. He made that look easy. Gnarly rocks and narrow, and here's some big washouts.
Well, one sure thing about the White Rim is that there is no shortage of sketchy shelf roads, and Hardscrabble Hill definitely fits that bill. Although Hardscrabble wasn't as technical as Murphy Hogback, it still had its narrow places with big drop-offs. That gets the adrenaline pumping. Now, I'm not sure we're technically off Hardscrabble yet. I think it travels all the way until we descend down to the canyon floor, but I'm not exactly sure. Maybe someone could leave a comment to that effect. and I didn't remember how beautiful this section was until I started reviewing the videos we took. This is definitely one of my favorite sections. This narrow rocky shelf road traveling along the Green River gives you a good mix of color. From the green vegetation all the way up to the red canyon walls, this area has some stunning scenery. Well, we still have a ways to go before descending down to the canyon floor. So to keep you from having to listen to me ramble, here's another song while we continue the journey. canyon floor. But before we get there, we have one more narrow, sketchy place to get through.
Oh, we're coming down.
Yep.
I don't know what all that mess is.
Ooh, let me get out.
Do what?
Look around here.
Can you see anything?
Just stay close to the wall.
How close am I to the wall?
You can come on over a little bit more.
I can't tell.
You got it. Ooh, that sounds awful.
Am I good, Carol?
Yeah, you're good. Not any closer. You're good. You got it. Ooh, too real close.
Oh, oh, oh.
A little close. A little close. First thing we get out is go find a car wash.
No, that's gonna be kind of what we're seeing way out.
Just looks like
This
that.
level. Are we on the right track? Tell him just when you think you're done.
Just when you think you're done, be careful coming over this hump.
Thank you.
Now we're getting to the washed out section we were warned about. And for some reason, my GPS showed us deviating from the route.
There was a sign
I got a little
on the
nervous
road showing
because there
where
were
the road
several
was.
directions you could venture out, but they were all dead ends.
I think we're off the road.
I think we're off.
Yep. Tell him we're off the road.
I think we're off the road.
I gotta get somewhere where I can turn around. I'm off the road.
We decided to go back and follow the original path, and it eventually caught us back up to the route after a few hundred yards.
GPS says this way. I'm sure we're going off, but maybe we'll get back on.
As we were warned,
Yeah, I
the
think-
sand is very thick in this area, and a couple of spots coming up, we didn't think we were going to make it through.
It does settle. Coming up that hill right there. Thick, thick, thick. Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come on, girl.
Yeah.
Ooh, let them go. Bump it.
Dude, hit it hard. It's really sticky.
Mike, did we record that?
Yeah.
Whoa. That made her hot. I didn't like that at all.
Those two spots seemed a lot worse than what we experienced at Cape Lookout. I guess that's the difference between deep, wet sand and deep, dry sand.
All right, we're here at our campsite, Labyrinth B, and yeah, it was pretty technical getting here. Hardscrabble Hill was pretty gnarly, not too bad, but I think my buddy Scott would agree that the worst part was the sand we had to go through that we almost didn't make it through. Whew. But we're here. So let me just show you this view, because this is pretty spectacular too.
Yep, it's 99, put 95%, 4 hours and 9 minutes.
Well, the adventure is about over. We're on our way out, but still have a ways to go before we start climbing out of the canyon. And we still have one more narrow, sketchy area to go through, just up ahead around the bend.
So we do not need to run into a vehicle like we get around this corner, I think.
Well, those bicycles, and there was a truck in front of us, so.
Going that way?
Yep, that's the way they went.
Watch me on that side.
You're good.
Again. Still filming.
Yeah, yep, I didn't stop it. So. We're close, just remember the awning if it's a rock that's up about that
I'm
high.
studying, you study all that. Scared me.
This short section definitely leaves no room for error. Although it's not several hundred feet down like other places on this trail, you don't want to risk getting too close to the edge and tumble down to the river. On the other hand, if you get too close to the wall, you're going to come away with some nasty trail rash. Paying attention is a must on this section. And those small washouts really made me wonder if the ground might give away as I rolled by.
Got a little brake squeal.
A lot of good brake squeal.
Washout right here.
Man, that was exciting. I'm not sure what you would do if you came face to face with another vehicle. Someone would have a very tough time backing up. If you do this trail, be sure to stop at the bend and watch a little while to make sure no one is coming. Probably most of the time you'll be able to see dust kicking up anyway. Now the area coming up makes me think about those old western movies, so I think the next song is appropriate for this portion of the drive.
You're good.
amazing end to an amazing adventure. The White Rim Backcountry Trail exceeded all our expectations, and we were so happy to reconnect with some old friends. Thanks to Scott and Lynette for tagging along. This is a trail that we would recommend everyone put on your bucket list. It's not overly technical, so if that's what you're looking for, this might not be the trail for you. But if you're looking for a way to get away from it all and see some amazing scenery that you can't see from the pavement, then this is the trail for you. As we mentioned in our first video, the campsite booking gets filled within minutes, so you will need to be prepared. And you will want to book at least 2 campsites, else you will rush through it all and miss a lot of cool stuff. We booked 3 and still didn't get to see everything we'd have liked to have seen. White Crack was definitely the primo camping spot, but Labyrinth wasn't too shabby either. Really though, as we passed by all the others, we realized we wouldn't be disappointed with any of them. Now, one thing that all the videos we watched left out was the climb to get out of the canyon. We were not expecting this. And although it's not as impressive as the Schaefer switchbacks, it's still pretty cool. Hope you enjoyed the journey along with us. And remember, keep it on the road less traveled, Dusty Buns Overland and Adventures.